In this video, we're going to work on examples 3.20 and 3.21 from your book. If you'd like to follow along, open the Chapter 3 Classwork.XLSX workbook from My Courses and click on the EX 3.20 worksheet tab. So, the first thing that we are going to do in example 3.20 is to construct a frequency distribution and a histogram for cost per order. So in order to do that, we're going to click the Data tab. In the Analyze group, we're going to click Data Analysis. If you do not see the Analyze group or you do not see the Data Analysis icon, click File, and then all the way at the bottom, Options. In the Excel Options dialog box, click Add-ins. At the bottom where you see Manage Excel Add-ins, click Go. And make sure that your Analysis Tool Pack is selected. As long as your Analysis Tool Pack is checked, click OK. And then when you go back to the Data tab, you should see an Analyze group with the Data Analysis tool. So we're going to click Data Analysis and Histogram. Click OK. In the Histogram dialog box, click in the Input range, and in the Input range we're going to select the cost per order. So we're going to select the range G3 all the way down to G97. I'm going to scroll up. Then in the bin range, I'm going to select the range L3 to L9. Now make sure we're going to click the Labels box. Now make sure if you click the Labels box, both your input and your bin range has to have labels. So for example, in our bin range, had we started with L4, it would have taken 0 as a label and started at 26,000 instead of starting at 0. If you did not click the labels and you included the labels, the histogram would fail because you would have non-numeric data mixed in. So be careful with those labels. Now we're going to select the default for New Worksheet Ply, and we're going to click in the box, and we can actually name the worksheet right here. So I'm going to name this worksheet Histogram 1. And to match the output in the book, make sure that you select Chart Output at the bottom and then click OK. Notice we're taken to a new worksheet that has Histogram 1. We can double click the border between column A and column B at the top to make sure that we can see the entire upper group limit. And we can see that our chart matches the one in the book at the bottom of page 78. And we can make our histogram chart larger by clicking anywhere in the background of the chart area, activating the handles. Grab the bottom right hand corner and just drag your chart out a little bit larger. We're going to get some more practice. So we're going to click back on EX 3.20, click Data and Data Analysis, and then Histogram once again. We're going to accept the input range, but this time in the bin range, we're going to select that and then delete. Change the bin range to L12 to L23. Make sure that your labels are still selected. We're going to change our new worksheet name. We've already taken Histogram 1. So we'll backspace and we'll call our new worksheet Histogram 2. And make sure that Chart Output is still selected. And we're going to click OK. Double click between the border of column A and column B at the top to show your entire table. And then we once again will make our chart larger by activating the handles by clicking the background and then grabbing the bottom right hand corner handle and just dragging it out until the chart is larger. We can see that our output matches that output at the top of page 79. Now we're going to move on to example 3.21, where we're going to compute cumulative relative frequencies. So we're going to click on the EX 3.21 worksheet tab. We're going to click Data if necessary. Then in the Analyze group, click Data Analysis and Histogram and click OK. We're going to delete the input range and the bin range because those are references from another sheet. We want to make sure to start all over again. In our input range, we're going to select the range G3 down to G97, but make sure that it's from this worksheet. Click in the bin range and scroll all the way up. Our bin range L3 to L14. This time we're going to call our new worksheet Histogram 3. And this time we're going to click cumulative percentage as well as chart output. So click OK. And we have a new worksheet, Histogram 3, which shows a histogram. By the way, in one of your homework problems where they ask for an ogive, this is what the ogive is, so you can take a look at the picture on page 80. We're going to create that in just a moment. So, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make my columns wider. So I'm going to double click between the gray A and the gray B, the gray B and the gray C, the gray C and the gray D to make my chart wider. And we can see that it almost matches the chart at the top of page 80. We're just missing relative frequency, which we'll be able to do in a moment. In order to delete the frequency from our histogram and only show the cumulative percentage, we're going to click any blue bar, it doesn't matter which one. Notice that they're all selected, and to remove that data range, all we have to do is hit the delete key on our keyboard, and we can now see that the histogram shows the cumulative percentage. If you wanted to remove the legend, under Chart Tools, click the Design tab. So as long as your chart is activated, you'll see a Chart Tools group. Click the Design tab. Under Add Chart Element, go to Legend, and then None. Now we're going to add the relative frequency column. So to add a column between B and C, we're going to click the gray C. Make sure you get the down arrow, and then click the gray C. Then while hovering over the gray C, right click and select Insert. Now in cell C1, we're going to type the word relative. You're going to hold down your Alt key and hit Enter. Type the word frequency, and then hit your Enter key without holding down the Alt key. By holding down the Alt key, we were able to wrap the text in cell C1, so we didn't have to use 2 lines to type relative frequency, which is a very, very bad practice to get into in Excel. Now, the first step in calculating the relative frequency is to calculate the total of all frequencies. So I'm going to click in cell B14. In my Home tab, I'm going to click the Auto Sum button, and notice how it adds the correct range, and hit Enter. Or you could just type equals SUM, open up the parentheses, Select the range B2 to B13, close up your parentheses, and hit enter. Now, if we were going to calculate each relative frequency by hand, first I'd take 0 and divide by 94, then 42 and divide by 94, then 26 and divide by 94. So, in order to accomplish this with one formula, I'm going to type equals, and then I'm going to click on cell B2. Now, I want that numerator to change from B2 to B3 and B4 and B5 as I copy it down. So I'm just going to type a /. Now I'm going to click on cell B14, but I always want it to divide by B14. I don't want it to change that to B15 and B16. So before I click away, I'm going to hit my F4 key on my keyboard, or just type the $signs, $B, $14. Make sure that your formula reads what mine reads, equals B2 divided by $B, $14. Hit enter. Click cell C2. Double click that fill handle, bottom right hand corner, get the skinny plus, then just double click. And we've copied the formula all the way down. And if you want to make sure that it matches what you see at the top of page 80, we're going to select the range C2 down to D13. In the Home tab and the number group, we're going to click that little arrow in the bottom right hand corner of the number group, making sure that you're on the number tab. Under category, single click number, and then choose 4 decimal places. You can use the arrows, or you could just type the number 4. It doesn't matter if you use the thousand separator, because all of our numbers are 1 or less. And we click OK. If you would like to get your bottom border back, click cell D13. In the Home tab, in the Clipboard group, click Format Painter. That copies everything about a cell except the contents, so it'll copy the number format and any borders or colors. And all we do is click on cell C13, and we have our border back. So we have now completed examples 3.20 and 3.21 from your book.